What's up, players, traders, and haters? Welcome back. It's your boy D coming back at you for another freaking video. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, right? So don't take it as that. Take it for educational and entertainment purposes only. And it is Friday, the end of the trading week. I've definitely had a busy day today. I went out this morning. First off, got my coffee like always, and then I actually went to Barnes and Nobles to buy a book. And the book I got was this one right here. So it's called The Psychology of Money. All right, I'm gonna talk a little bit about it right now. It's what I've been talking about like in my past videos. The goal is always to bring you education, my thoughts, my opinions, and so on. So I read the first chapter and I'm gonna kind of talk about what's going on there. And then I had a meeting and now I'm back at the YouTube studio. All right, so we can make a video and check in real quick. I just want to come in, make a quick update. I also noticed that the FTD information, the FTD report was released today, so we're going to kind of touch on that for AMC and APE, and we'll see where we're at with that. And I'm not too focused on the share prices right now. I know that they've gone down dramatically for APE and AMC, but right now I'm trying to gain and inform myself and expand my knowledge as far as risk and the markets and why I picked up this book, because I'm just looking for time. I need to find ways to spend my time right now, and I'm just gonna always share my thoughts and my opinions with you guys. That's why I started this channel. So if you have not subscribed already, think about subscribing, join the family, the money family over here, the educational, the knowledgeable family, because that's the goal of the channel. Okay, so yeah, let me just start off with this book. So I like to read, books like these and self-growth books as well. So I read the first part of this, right, the first chapter, and basically what's going on here. The first chapter what it's talking about is going to tell you that your perspective on money is your own, because it has a lot to do with the way you grow up, how you treat money, how you behave around money, how you think about money, right? It's all about how you look at it, and it's a personal thing, because your experiences and all that help mold and right the knowledge that you have and how you plan to use the money. But to give you some examples, so say you have and the book gives you an example of like this guy who was actually a janitor. He was a gas station attendant and an investor. And then on the other side, you have this guy who was a Wall Street guy who worked for a big bank or hedge fund or something like that. I can't remember the exact terminology, but he worked for big money and he got to see millions of dollars and so on and whatnot, right? So you have these two guys that are living two different lives. But it turns out that the guy who was an investor and was respectful of money and was patient and a long investor, because he started buying up all these blue chip stocks as he worked and went along, and by the time he was going to retire, he actually had a lot of money, right, saved up, and he had grown his money. And it's just all about how he behaved around money. He thought about it as a long-term thing, and as he was just building wealth. Okay, so when he died, he ended up having around like $8 million that he was able to build and acquire. And he ended up giving $2 million to his stepchildren, and he ended up giving the other $6 million to charity. So he didn't even give all the money to his stepchildren. All right, so that's the smart guy who's respectful of money and just goes along the long route. And then you have the other guy, right, who was this big CEO executive guy who just blows money. A perfect example in the book is talking about how he this guy breaks a lamp at the hotel that he's staying at, and the manager of the hotel's like, oh, you're gonna have to replace that, it's gonna be around $500. And this CEO guy goes, oh well, here's 5,000, get out of my face, fix it, whatever. But there's no need for that. Like, that's how much that guy did not respect money, right? So as time goes along, this CEO guy, he's not respecting money and so on. And it turns out that after a few years, this guy goes broke because he was not respecting his money and and using it the right way, right? So it's all about your personal decisions. That's why I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do with your money. It's always up to you. I'm just here to spread the knowledge on different ways, and especially how I go about about my financial situation. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to continue to do, continue to read this book. You know, it does say in the first chapter that like nobody's crazy with money. It's just they do crazy things with money because everyone has their own perspective. So when, you know, this person might think that the way this person is spending their money is absolutely crazy, but you know, it makes sense for that person. So just always remember that it's an individual thing. And I know with the movement and with AMC and the apes and all that, we've built a beautiful community, but nobody here should be telling each other what to do with their money, again, because it's your own financial decision. It's your own way that you have to, you know, finance or manage your own, you know, financial situation. And yeah, so please don't ever make any decisions, right? Any financial decision based on my content. I'm just here to bring you knowledge on and tools on how you can think about and make your own decisions. All right. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about there on the book. As I go along, I will keep continuing to update you guys and spreading this knowledge, right? Because like I've told you in the Go Giver, that other book that I read recently, it always says to give more than you receive and you will have an abundant life. Okay. And I believe in that and I respect that. So yeah, let's jump into the other information now though that I got to share with y'all. So it does have to do mostly with AMC. Like I said, it's just going to be a quick wrap, a quick touch on information and update. All right. So this report came out: millions of fails to deliver in AMC and ape shares. Fails to deliver in shares of AMC and Entertainment Holdings reached the millions in the first half of September. The chaos hit both AMC and AMC preferred equities, which are the ape shares, according to a new report out from the SEC today. Ape fails to deliver packed 2.4 million shares on September 1st. That day alone, AMC fails to deliver peaked a week later on September 8th at 2.2 million shares. AMC shares have had large and persistent fails to deliver for over a year now. So yeah, this problem has been going on for over a year. We seem to see no issue, no difference in the way it's handled and the way the shares are handled. But hopefully right soon, because in my opinion, yeah, this is very crucial to the stock price. All right. So it's telling that as soon as ape shares were issued, huge fails to deliver appeared there as well. Meanwhile, larger companies continue to have almost no trades failing. Let's take a look at fails to deliver in a few major stocks on September 1st. So Amazon had 0, Apple around 5,000, Microsoft 0, Tesla 14,000, Ape 2.3 million, and it's always way more, right, compared to other stocks in the market. Amazon 17,000, Apple 523,000. And then this is the week later when AMC had 2.1 million, right? So we've had this issue with AMC for a long time. Fails to deliver in AMC and Ape are dramatically larger than in much bigger companies. Why are these shares in consistent chaos with other companies are unaffected? I suspect it's because of naked short selling of hedge funds, allegedly, right? This is an illegal practice that involves selling short shares that you never borrowed. It's a powerful weapon to crush a stock if you never have to find the shares to borrow. You can sell short at any amount. This can reach absurd levels. In August, we saw fails to deliver in ape shares exceed the entire daily trading volume. The SEC must investigate what's going on in AMC and ape shares. Until they do, it's hard to believe the prices we see are real. And that's where the whole theory, the whole thesis of AMC being manipulated and controlled, and it's not really what we see because of what goes on in the background, right? So just allegedly. And yeah, like this article says, I want everyone to have a great weekend, right? Find something to do to enjoy yourself. But it's just interesting where we're at on the chart real quick. We're in this falling triangle, and it's holding, it looks like it's down a lot, but it is holding these levels that are crucial over here. And we're on the last support right now, but we're also coming to the end of the triangle. So I would expect, because of the RSI, it's so low, I would actually expect a bounce. And we've gone through a lot of turmoil recently in the market, and that has definitely also affected AMC, right? There's nothing you can do when the whole market is crashing and coming down, and there's a lot of fear. But the other thing I want to touch on, all right, here's the numbers for the FTDs. And yeah, on the first, there was still 2.3 million, right? And they have gotten it down to 392,000 as of the 14th. That's the latest data that we have. But it was still worth $2 million, which originally started at $304 million, which is just absolutely insane. The thing with AMC right here, what I'm paying attention to, again, this is the data that just came out today on the FTDs. But if you pull this chart up, you can see that we're starting to have that consistent rise again on the failure to delivers, which in my opinion, right, from my research, it's that they have a T plus 35 date or time in order to deliver these. All right. But right before we saw the massive run in June, we did have this again going on, where there was a massive amount of FTDs that were consistent. And then I think that's why this fee seems to be holding at 21.6% currently is the cost to borrow for AMC. And the one thing, guys, like, just be careful with the calls. Week after week, we see a lot of calls that are not landing in the money, and you're seeing a lot of puts land in the money. So that's, 28,000 that landed in the money compared to 1,658. At this point, I'm not really touching calls or options. Right now, I'm just holding my positions until we get some new news. But there's a lot of fear out there, right? But I will continue to hold my shares. That's just what I want to do. My positions, my shares, and my whatever I have already bought, I'm just gonna hold it. I want to hold it through this bear market to see what happens when the bull markets come back. Cool. So yeah, so if you haven't seen this article, I made a little short about it, but it's AMC. It's time to go long with a possible short squeeze that came out from Seeking Alpha, and I talked about how it's interesting that they're putting this out when for a long time constant bashing of AMC. They just always usually bash it and try to talk bad about it. But they actually put out a positive article, right? This just popped up an hour ago. The Fed has a meeting for Monday that they are holding under expedited procedures. Here are the details. It's a closed meeting of the Board of Governors on the Federal Reserve System at 11:30 a.m. on Monday, October 3rd. Will be held under expedited procedures. Emergency Fed meeting announced for Monday. All right, so I just retweeted that. And I put this tweet out earlier too, where I believe we're at the point where a black swan event would destroy the shorts. If you don't know what a black swan event, it's really easy to go look it up. If you want to go look that up over the weekend here, kind of see what that is. But that's the update I got for you guys today. Just wanted to come in real quick, make a video, and talk about where we're at. But yeah, we'll continue to read this book over the weekend. It already caught my interest, and I think there's gonna be a lot of good information here that I could share and pass on to the fellow retail investors, to my subscribers, to everybody. All right, guys, so thank you very much. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.